So let's break it down. Crisis intervention in social work is like the emergency response team for the brain. It's a theory and process designed to deal with major emotional meltdowns or crises when life just hits the fan. Clinical theory. Crisis intervention theory is all about understanding that crises are temporary states of chaos where the brain's usual coping mechanisms go on vacation. The theory is vibing with these ideas. Nature of crisis. A crisis is like that moment when your phone freezes and nothing works. Everything's out of whack and you don't know what's going on. Your usual coping skills? Totally useless. Cue the emotional and mental mess. Goal, the mission, to get things back on track by helping people find their balance again and teaching them how to cope like a pro. Theoretical frameworks. We're talking all kinds of fancy psychology here. Psychosocial, cognitive behavioral, and trauma-informed methods coming together to figure things out. The process, step-by-step crisis. Here's how the intervention process usually plays out when things hit the fan. Assessment. You gotta figure out what's happening. Like, what's the crisis? Is it emotional, mental, or just a bad situation? Establishing rapport. First things first, get that trust going. If you don't have trust, you're basically trying to fix a broken car with a spoon. Not gonna work. Stabilization. Okay, time to chill out. You can't fix everything immediately, but you can start by listening, offering support, and calming things down. Think of it as emotional first aid. Problem identification. Let's figure out what's actually causing the crisis. Is it a heartbreak? A massive existential crisis? A bad haircut? Exploration of options. Collaborate with the person to figure out how they can cope. What are their options? We don't mean ice cream and Netflix, but hey, if it helps, why not? Action plan, time for a plan, because sitting in your feelings forever isn't going to help. Create a short-term strategy to deal with the current mess and avoid even bigger problems down the road. Follow up. Check back in and see how they're doing. Progress isn't always linear, but staying in touch is key. Let's talk about the real-world application. Crisis intervention isn't just a textbook theory. It's used in all kinds of real-world situations. Mental health, helping someone who's spiraling into a psychiatric episode or dealing with suicidal thoughts. Trust and therapy are the keys to getting them out of that dark hole. Emergency settings. When disaster strikes or accidents happen, this is the lifeline people need to stay afloat. Social work practice, integrating crisis intervention into a broader social service network like housing or job support to help someone get their life back together. Key considerations, what you should keep in mind. Crisis intervention is flexible. It has to be. Everyone's situation is different, so one size fits all doesn't work. A couple of key things to remember. Cultural sensitivity. What works for one person might not work for another. Keep an open mind and adapt accordingly. Ethical practice. You gotta respect someone's autonomy while also making sure they're safe and not spiraling out of control. Collaboration. Working with a whole squad of pros is way more effective than going solo. Multiple perspectives make a huge difference. The takeaway, why crisis intervention is like a superpower. Crisis intervention isn't just about fixing a problem. It's about building resilience and teaching people how to handle their mental health like a champ in the future. It's like training for a marathon, except it's mental and emotional strength instead of abs. Example, the college 5-tier pyramid framework for mental health. Let's use a college example to show how this all works in the real world. Imagine a 5-tier pyramid framework designed to help students deal with depression and distress. It's like a support squad, but on steroids in a good way. Identification of crisis. Counselors spot students who might be struggling with depression, triggered by stuff like relationships, social pressures, or, the existential dread that is college life. Collaborative intervention. Now, let's get everyone involved. Institutional support. Universities provide mental health resources and train professors on how to spot the signs. Faculty involvement. Professors are trained to notice when students are having a hard time and send them to the right services. Counselor engagement. The pros come in to give individualized therapy and crisis management plans. Classroom integration, peer discussions, and creating a supportive classroom vibe help reduce stigma. Peer support lets students help each other too. Peer counseling programs are like having your own emotional Avengers squad. Outcome focus. The goal? To figure out why the student's struggling, give them some real-world help, and teach them coping mechanisms that'll last beyond finals week. So, in summary, crisis intervention is like being the first responder to someone's emotional car crash. With the right theory and process, social workers can help people bounce back stronger than ever.